Bay Area, it's Draymond Green. And you're listening to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
That's right. And we are part of the old media, the new media, and the current media.
Yeah.
All of them. Day-day.
Hey, Day-Day. And I'm only saying this because I know you got some free time coming up, but come join us. I mean, we've got a studio here with...
That's actually a great call.
We got 4 mics. We got 4 cameras.
We do.
Draymond, we would love to have you.
Steiny would love to leave early if you want to come on the crossover.
Exactly.
And you could do that with me, you, and Goo.
No doubt.
Do you want to hear what he wrote on Instagram?
Wait, we have some Draymond postings?
That was a few days ago.
Is there a podcast? Wait, it's a few days ago?
Yeah. Was this before or this is before the suspension? But
this was after the double technical where he got ejected.
Okay.
Towards the end of that game.
The Cleveland game.
The Cleveland game.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is after that. This is prior to hugging Rudy Gobert. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Quote, I'm in year 12 and y'all still telling me to stop being Draymond. Don't get a tech. Blah, blah, blah. 12 years later, and y'all still trying to coach me on how to be me? I am better at being Draymond than anybody. Imagine if I told y'all how to do your job. Quick pause. You do kind of tell us how to do our job. New media. Anyway, I digress. You'd look at me crazy. I thought y'all should know. Oh, hang on. I lost it. I thought y'all should know how dumb you all look trying to tell me how to be me. If y'all had some advice for your own lives, the world would be a much better place. And you would be far better at your job than your mediocre outputs.
Woo!
Happy Sunday, good people. Right back at it like an addict.
Yeah.
That's his IG post after getting tossed against the Cavs.
So he got tossed against the Cavs.
Yep.
And then was the T-Wolves game the very next game they played? I mean, I'm checking my game log.
No, because they played the T-Wolves twice. And this was...
Oh, T-Wolves
This was
part
the
2.
second
Correct.
T-Wolves game. Right, so there was the other T-Wolves game in between them.
I'm fascinated by that comment based on the idea of self-improvement. And you are 48. You're almost 49. And I hate to admit that because...
you don't know my birthday.
I know it's coming up.
Sort of.
Yeah, closer than mine. And I'm 55, I think. I don't even remember anymore. I'm so old, it doesn't even matter. Exactly. When you get north of 50, as you'll see, you kind of have to start doing the math, which is a little unsettling on its own. Point being, I still am trying to get better at my craft, at my life, at every part of my being. I'm trying to get better. And what I hear from Draymond there is a certain sense of, F y'all, I'm Draymond Green. This is who I am. I don't sense, Mark, in his game, and I don't know him at all as a father, as a man, as a Christian, a son, a citizen. I know he does some philanthropy, and that's wonderful. But as a basketball player, wouldn't you want to try to evolve and improve? And I don't sense that he is interested in evolving and improving that part of his game.
So that I do not see it the same way, which is to say, I don't think that anything I just read there off of Instagram says I'm not interested in getting better. All he's saying is I know how to be me.
Right.
Now, that's our calculus that, hey, Draymond, you would be better if you stopped getting technical fouls. I don't think he agrees. Now, it may sound ridiculous. You're like, wait a minute. What, he wants technical fouls? No, he doesn't want technical fouls. I'll go back to the same thing I said 20 minutes ago. This is a person who has arrived at this point in his life and become a multi-millionaire and a future Hall of Fame basketball player by riding the edge. And he is, as one of our YouTubers just said, and I think this is a great phrase, he is very comfortable with us being uncomfortable. He is comfort with discomfort. And therefore, he does not think that getting technical fouls is a net negative.
Right.
He thinks that is part of doing business, the way he's done business, and the way he's done business has been wildly successful, both individually and as a team. So
Right.
I think that and if I were him, I would feel the same way. Like if you got to the top of
I
the
don't think you would.
I would.
I think you would look at
different.
yourself and you would think, how can I get better? How can I get even better than I've been?
I think he is. He's just defining that differently than the way we're defining it. We're defining that as start acting like a regular person more.
No.
And or just calm down or have awareness or whatever the things people say. He's saying, I'm trying to be a better basketball player. I'm trying to maybe be a better, who knows what, dad, husband, all the same things that we all feel.
None of that matters
but
for this conversation.
He does not equate being better with calm down and stop yelling. He doesn't equate that. I don't know. That's my guess.
Sure.
In observing him as a person, I don't think he defines evolution and getting better the same way many of us try to define it for him.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to define it for him. I look at his body of work and I see where his actions, whether it's choking an opponent, and I defend him on what he did to Rudy Gobert. Was it excessive? Probably, but he was taking up for his teammate and he got 5 games for it. He didn't get 5 games for the action. He got 5 games for the reputation. And I look at last year, he led the league with 21 technical fouls. And the year before that, he had 17 and he had 15. And does that make you a better player? The fact that you berate officials and cost your team free throws and at times get ejected from games? If you feel like that is what you need to do to be the player that you have to be, well, then who am I to tell you that that's not true? I know that as a spectator and as a fan, when I watch him do what he does, I cringe, and it makes me not want to be a fan of his or a fan of the team.
Again, he's comfortable with uncomfortable.
Right.
I really believe. And I think it's a little black and white. I totally get the way you're saying that. If you feel like yelling at refs or pushing the envelope or whatnot, if you feel that makes you better, my guess, again, just my guess,
right.
I don't think he would say it that way. He would more say, look, that's just a collateral part of the way I play.
Exactly. Which is an excuse in my opinion.
And that's fine.
It's a cop-out.
But I think that this is somebody who has turned himself into a future basketball Hall of Famer, yet he's not a great shooter. He's not excessively tall. We can go through all of the things. What is it that Draymond, just from the raw physical side of him, what is it that he does the same as the other greats of the game? Well,
nothing.
Nothing,
he
right.
He is one of one.
So he would argue, I think, that all of this other stuff, what he does is he outthinks people, and he's got more raw emotion and motivation than his opponent. And so when you play that way, these are the things that are going to come with it. And so that's why I think that's what I don't think that means he's not trying to better himself.
Yeah.
He's just not bothered by those things.
Sure.
I'm kind of not either.
Well, that's fine. And it's not up to him to worry about whether or not you're bothered or I'm bothered or
he very much
any
does
of the
not
fans.
get bothered. Yeah.
He doesn't even care, I would imagine. He doesn't care if his coach is bothered or if his teammates are bothered or if his owner is bothered. Draymond is, and what you read from Instagram, the way I heard you read it was, I'm going to do me. I'm going to be as Draymond as I can be, which is great. And I admire that because we all want to be ourselves. We want to be authentic. You've always said you'll be authentic, and I am the same on the show, and I try to be authentic in my life. But there are areas of my life that I look at and I think, geez, that's not the best that I can be. How do I improve upon that? And I don't get the same sense of self-reflection. Maybe he looks at his own behavior, and I'm sure he's looked at the video of him choking Rudy Gobert, and he gets 5 games. And I wonder if he thinks about, you know what? Geez, what could I have done differently so as to not be suspended for 5 games, so as to not put my team in a bad spot for the next 5 games? I don't get that sense of self-reflection from Draymond in any way. Maybe privately he does. Publicly, he does not show any contrition.
Because I don't think he feels that.
I don't know.
And that would be inauthentic. I think he thinks that he would do it again.
Right.
And I think that he's getting a lot of backing from his teammates for doing exactly what he did.
Just knowing the nature of our team, and if anybody goes at one of our best players like that, I think that's going to be no matter the team we play. And Draymond will stick up for anybody on our team, and just because that was Clay doesn't mean anything. If it was anybody else, he would have done the same thing for us. And that's the great part about being Dre's teammate, that he'll stick up for you no matter what.
Brandon Pajemski on our show yesterday, and I think that all the Warriors very likely feel that way. Yep, did it, not sorry, going to do it again if the same thing comes up.
Yeah.
So, I'm always trying to think when we look at any situation, whether it's a player, a coach, heck, not even about sports. I mean, we're trying to sort of say how we would do it if we were in this situation. But he is so very clearly different. He's not us. And I actually kind of appreciate that about him. I think it's why he is as good as he is. He's not, and you'll know what I mean when I say this, he's not Draymond Green without this stuff. So what if I offered it to you this way? I don't know that it would go this way, but what if I said, all right, Draymond's going to come out and he's going to be a good boy. No more technical fouls and no more pushing and shoving with the opponent. We're not going to do that anymore. And then some of the other stuff on the basketball end, that started to fall too. You're not getting the same production because it all kind of comes from the same raw, animalistic, emotional place inside Draymond Green. That's how he got here. So, again, that's just a total hypothetical.
Right.
But what if? What if less of that also meant less of this? Then how would you feel?
Then he is overrated. Then he's not really the basketball player that we would have thought him to be. If you can't be an effective two-way player, if you can't be a defensive player of the year, an all-defensive player, and an elite point guard, and a great offensive and defensive mind, and a team leader, and a screen setter, and the guy who can guard 1 through 4, if you can't be all those things without cheap shots and berating officials, then that's no. You can't wave that off. This is my opinion, because that's what you're. That's fine. What you're laying out.
Yeah, but
you're trying to parse the two different pieces of Draymond, and I'm saying that's a cop-out.
And you're pulling apart the pieces of what the place that he goes to when he gets on the court. That's an emotional, mental place. That's what I'm talking about.
That's a place that he chooses to go
because it has been very successful for him. And come on, we've all known.
So he can't play unless he is berating officials and cheap-shotting opponents?
Like Dibs, have you ever talked to NFL players when they're like just about to go onto the field?
Many times, yes.
Of course you have.
Revved up.
And it's a different place.
For sure.
It is a different place. My favorite example of this is because when I worked at USC, Troy Polamalu was there. Go ahead.
Stop whopping him.
Stop whopping me. No, keep whopping me. I like it.
Stop whopping me.
Troy Polamalu was at USC. I've never seen a bigger dichotomy, a bigger difference between off-field human.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
And on-field human.
I want to kill that guy.
Seriously. Troy off the field made Michael Jackson sound very manly, but on the field, holy hell, where did you go? And he rode the line and often got flagged for going over. So all I'm sharing with you is my opinion on this. You go to a place, and if that's where you have to go in order to be your most successful athletic self, but there's collateral damage that comes with it, I would argue you're going to make that choice every time. And I don't think it's as easy as you're making it sound to pull those two layers apart and have them be separate human beings. I can still be at my absolute athletic best, but I'm also going to emotionally and mentally behave in a more normal way. I don't know that people can do that. Well, not all of them.
Many do. And if
many are just wired that way.
Well, and many have chosen to evolve, and they've chosen to try to find other ways to channel their aggression, anger, frustration, physicality, etc. And Draymond Green has not shown that ability to evolve, in my opinion. He still gets a ton of technical fouls. He still fixates on the officials more than almost any other player in the association. And when it comes time to get involved in altercations, and again, I'm defending what Draymond Green did a couple of nights ago in terms of Rudy Gobert. He pulled a guy off his teammate, and yeah, he did it aggressively and in a prolonged fashion, and that's partly why he got 5 games, but nobody else on that team. Chris Paul didn't jump in to try to extricate Rudy Gobert from Klay Thompson. Andrew Wiggins was kind of strolling over. He didn't do anything. Exactly.
Couldn't be more different person.
Right. And so
I don't know what place Andrew goes to get ready for a game. I don't know if there's a place at all.
He goes
into space.
Goes to a quiet room. Yeah.
Exactly. He goes to meditate.
Yeah, he does yoga. That's Looney and Moody.
Moody, exactly.
They do yoga.
We do yoga.
Let's go. I'll tell you what place we'll go to. How about Berkeley? Let's go to Doug in Berkeley. Hi, Doug. What you doing?
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Yeah. Hey. I'm listening to you, and I was listening to Stein and Goo before, and a couple of things. My take on it is that you guys have been having a more sophisticated conversation, but a very similar conversation to what went on with the Warriors brass when they re-signed Draymond, and probably for a few years before that. You nuanced it a lot more, but it's all of that stuff. The one thing I kind of don't agree with, it's a little thing. Draymond doesn't care about, what anybody thinks, and he doesn't care even about what the coaches think. No, I think he does. And I think he tested that early on when he became a starter. And every time he went over the line, he was allowed to go over the line. I will go so far as to say that the Warriors brass made a Faustian deal. They all the stuff that you guys have been going back and forth about, they probably went back and forth about, and they decided, yeah, we're going to sell our souls to the devil because this guy's worth it. And from what I'm hearing, there's that line that we all see, and some of us come down on a little bit on this side, and some of us come down a little bit on that side. Draymond is Draymond. I come down on the side that he could do better on the court and be as good a player without, all the histrionics and the stuff. I think we would have won 2 championships, maybe 3, with somebody else besides Draymond.
Okay.
And that wouldn't have been
no, Doug, these are all, I mean, these are fair opinions. I don't agree. I don't think the Warriors are winning any of their championships without Draymond Green. The one thing that we all tend to ignore in NBA championships is defense. Dibs, you always bring this stat up. What's there's never ever, like, what's it been, 40 years, whoever wins in the NBA title is always in the top what?
Yeah, top 5.
Top 5. And I don't need to ask any of you who the defensive leader is of this team for the last 10 years. You all know the answer to that. They're not winning without him, in my opinion. They're not winning bubkiss without him. So you can point to, I didn't like this game, and that might have cost us this, that, or the other here. I personally believe many of you are making this too serious. So in other words, when you say, as Doug just did, I think the Warriors sat down, talked about it, decided to do a deal with the devil. I don't think the Warriors think he's the devil. I don't think they think that this is a devilistic deal. I don't even know if that's a word. They don't think that. They just think, yeah, we get this really good basketball player, runs hot, going to have to deal with some crap. Obviously, last year, that really went totally out of bounds. I think the conversation went like this. Hey, guys, you think he'll do that again? No. We think he'll do the regular stuff. Okay, we can deal with that.
The regular stuff, yeah. Which, the regular stuff is choking Gobert, you get 5.
I mean,
you stomp Sabonis, you get a game.
Yeah.
How many more games do you think that he will either be ejected from or suspended from after these 5?
For the rest of the year?
Yeah. 3.5. If I put the over under 3.5 ejections or suspensions.
Well, that's just, it's like if he gets suspended, the over will hit. If he doesn't, the under will probably hit.
I mean, will he get ejected 4 more times?
I don't think so. I take the under, but if he does something, like if the ejection is just a couple of techs, I would win that bet on the under. If the ejection is because he choked someone, it's going to go way over. It'll be 10 games.
And that's the point.
It'll be 10 games.
The very fact that we have to debate, like Steph Curry, over-under ejections for the rest of his career, I'll put it at 0.5.
Under. I'll take the under.
Right. Yeah. Under at 0.5. Uh-huh. I mean, has he been ejected?
That's the way he's wired.
Maybe once. And I get that. But to your point and your devilistic deal, no, it's not a deal with the devil. But when you sign Draymond Green to a 4-year deal, that is 328 regular season games, and you're taking probably 80 of those and saying, well, we're going to take 80 off the board for technicals, ejections, suspensions, injury, and the rest. So will you still do the deal? And they said yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they would again.
Oh,
and
God.
I think I would too.
You know this. They have all come on this show and the other shows. They don't hesitate.
Right.
You want us to ask Steve again tomorrow? He's going to say the same thing. Do we want to win? Hey, Steve, you want to put up with Draymond? Do we want to win?
You should lead with that. Steve, did we lose you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm here.
He already answered it. He did it last year. I would say we want Draymond because we like winning. That's why we like Draymond Green.
Steve, what'd you say to Draymond when you came out on the court and he had Gobert by the Adam's apple?
He said, Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you after it's over.
Was it no, or was it go, go, go? Choke.
It was whoa.